Good evening and welcome to Sea Fishing with CJ down the beach again. I'm just editing the video from the last trip, which was Wednesday, which was we fished in daylight for the flood. So we didn't have a lot of fish. I had one dab, which was actually one dab more than quite a lot of other people who were fishing on that day. Quite a few blanks that day, I believe, certainly in this area. But we're down on Seaford Beach, different location, the other end of Seaford Beach this time. As I say, we're going to fish the ebb and we're going to fish it into darkness. Beautiful evening, very little wind, and I'm going to put the drone up in a bit and get some shots of the sunset, I think, from the drone. And I'm down here with 4 mates. I've got Woody and Gaddo off to my right, and Paul Tetty off to my left. Now, we didn't arrange to meet here, we just turned up and happened to be here at the same time. Obviously we're observing social distancing and all that good stuff. Hopefully catch some fish, and with 4 of us, hopefully I'll have some fish to show you on video, which will be nice. But there is a bit of may rot in the water, so tends to put the fishing off, but we'll see. Wind direction is completely different now. What wind there is southerly. So the weather system's changing, pressure's rising. So how that will affect the fish, we'll find out. But looking down the beach either way, so looking that way, there's 1, 2, 3, 3 people definitely fishing. And then a lot of people on the beach enjoying the sunshine. Looking that way, down towards the buckle, it is rammed. Now, I had intended to fish there, but I went down and had a bit of a recce yesterday. I had a chat with a guy who was just walking back. He'd had a square root and very little, and there was a lot of people blank down there yesterday who had fished during the day and fishing into the evening. So decided to come up here, which is my old haunt. I always used to fish here. I've had all sorts of mixed bags here, so we'll give it a go. Used to be the top sole mark along this beach at one time. So a bit later on, I'll put a sole rig out. I'm going to have a Plaice rig out at the moment because of daylight, clear waters. There still should be a few Plaice around, so we'll fish for Plaice on one of the rods. And the other rod, I'm not declaring the species I'm after, because if I do, I won't catch any. I'll tell you what it was if I catch one. But yeah, beautiful evening. Look at that. It's like a summer's day. Like the summer's day. Fantastic. Thank heavens they've let us go fishing. That's all I can say. Right, well, we've been fishing for a few minutes now, half an hour or so. I'm going to wind one of these baits in. One of the rod that's had the Plaice baits on it has gone quite tight. So Woody's rods have gone over. It's a classic smooth hound bite. Classic smooth hound bite. Except for it's not going down the beach. Right, I'm going to wind one of these in and see if the baits have been touched. Might have a fish asleep on the end there. You never know, dear. Yeah, unbelievable down here at the moment. I suspect that when the sun goes down it will get a bit colder and there won't be so many people down here, but at the moment it's beautiful. The bait that we're fishing with today is hermit crab, and I managed to get some frozen hermit crab which is already deshelled. So what I've done is I partially defrosted it today and rigged it at home. So I've tied it onto the hook, then I've refrozen it. So it's in a thermos flask, so we're keeping them in a thermos flask. Alright, so they're coming out frozen, so they're nice and solid, because it's a little bit delicate in the cast. But the idea being that once it lands in that nice warm sea, it will defrost and then start leaching juices out. It's on a long flowing trace, so I'm using my versatility rigs here. So basically all my hook links are about 8 to 10 inches long with a swivel on the end, and they just clip into this reversed bait clip, which is part of the pulley rig So the idea being it's nice and tucks in behind the weight, it's nice and taut, long flowing trace is loose, so when you cast, the splashdown releases the bottom hook, which releases the tension on the bait clip that's holding that swivel from the upper pulley down in place, and we're fishing on a long flowing trace out at sea. So that's the plan, seems to work very well. So let's just rig that up, stand the camera up while I'm doing it, see if we can get the cast in as well. So making sure the camera doesn't fall over. We've already had one disaster with a GoPro, we don't want that to happen again. So this clips in to this reverse bait clip, which has been slightly changed so that it's more of a hook. He won't sell many ice creams going that fast. So it's clipped into the splashdown, and then this hook there is positioned, so I pull the swivel down, that hook hooks into the swivel and it's suspended there like that. Make sure the flowing trace is clear so it's not wrapping around anything. Okay, and we're good to go. And the hermit crab's still nice and frozen, and it's elasticated onto the hook so that it should withstand the cast and be a nice juicy bait out at sea. The last one came in, actually still had some meat on it. I've rebaited. I'll keep that one, and I'll maybe put it together with a bit of squid later on if I run out of baits. Again, just an overhead thump, not wrapped around the tip ring. My bail arm is undone, I've got a finger fob on, and I'm going out there. Position my feet, elbow nice and high, and splash. Feel the lead making contact with the bottom. And then tightness to make sure the grip wires engage, and we're fishing. Swapping the rods around. Let's back wind that end so I get myself a bit of slack so I can get it into the tripod. We've been fishing for a while now, not one sign of a nibble or a bite, but you can see how much the tide has gone down since we've been here, hardly at all. So I'm anticipating that there will be a bit more of a run of the tide fairly shortly, and also that will coincide with the sun going down. So temperature's going to drop then. Hopefully we're going to see some more fish activity then, and once it gets dark I'm going to switch over from fishing for Plaice. We're going to put a sole rig on, so we'll be fishing for sole. So little tiny hooks. I like to put a drill bullet on my sole rigs right at the top of the rig, so it keeps the line hard on the bottom, and then we've got 4 snoods with a bit of tube on them to sort of help spring them out from the cascade swivels. Going to use a wide lead. Ordinarily I would use a non-wide lead so it rolls around, but we're getting a lot of cross tide. It's dragging us across a little bit, so I want to make sure that I stay out. So that's what we're going to do. There's the remains of my first hermit crab that went out, and as you see it came back. It's obviously not been touched. So I'm going to keep that on the hook, and a bit later on I'll probably tie a bit of squid together with it, so it'll sort of have a squid body rather than a hermit crab body. So there we go. So that's what we're doing. What can go wrong? Fantastic sunset going on behind me. I'll put the drone up in a minute, see if we can catch the last rays of the sun. Yeah. The only thing missing is the fishing, or the fish. And I was just thinking, it's been nearly 10 weeks, I haven't even seen a bite. Because the little dab that I had the other day, I didn't see a bite off that, expand it in, it was there. And I'm looking up at my right hand rod, and it looks to me like I've lost a ceramic eye out of it, which is a bit annoying. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, the first fish of the night, and Gaddo has picked up a nice little Plaice. So let's go and have a look and see what we got. Okay, so second fish of the night, another little tiny pouting. But, welcome sight, because two fish. It'd be nice to get another species now. And this is a sole rig. I'd be so made up to get sole, even a little one. This one, that's kind of bait size, isn't it? So we can go back to swim again. So good to be fishing again. So good to be fishing again. Well, it's proper dark now. We've moved down the beach, followed the tide down a bit. We can't exactly swim up the lines. There is a lot of mayrot in the water, it has to be said. When you can see it, when you're winding in, there's a great bob with it on the line, which tends to put the fish off. But, you know, we live in hope. Fantastic evening. Temperature's dropped a bit now and the sun going down, but it's still not unpleasant. And you can see the last vestiges of the sunset over New Haven. Question is, do I bring in the rod with the hermit crab on and put a fresh bait on? Give it a little bit longer. Give it a little bit longer. Well, I've actually seen 2 bites tonight, which is good. The first 2 bites in 2 months, which is always a result. So, jolly good. Well, 3 of us fishing, 3 species. 3 of us fishing, 3 species. And that has got to be the littlest conger eel I've ever seen. But it's a conger eel, it's not a silver eel. Pretty sure of that. Judging by the big muscle on the back of its head here. Yeah. Not as nasty as the silver eels though. Silver eels really are horrible and slimy, aren't they? You know, you haven't got any slime up your line. Which
yeah, you get it on your clothes and it never comes off.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. Yeah, I mean, I've got some bits of newspaper. On a bit of newspaper to grab hold of it.
Well, I've got a rag.
Well, newspaper you're going to throw it away. Are you going to throw the rag away, or is it?
Nah, if you've got a bit of newspaper.
Yeah, I'll get a bit of bait paper. Fourth species of the night. Channel whiting. They just never seem to go away now, do they?
No. Never mind.
Oh well, it wasn't a blank then.
No.
Getting near to the end of the session. I think some of us are packing up. I think I'm going to give it till midnight, so I've got about another hour. Woody's had a channel now, so he's not had a blank. So we've had pout in, white in, conger eel and Plaice. And I think the award goes to Gaddo for the best fish of the night with that Plaice. Last knock into the night, and we've had another little channel. So I had one channel I didn't get on film because the battery was flat and I couldn't change the battery over. So I had a couple of pout in, a couple of channels. Gaddo had a conger eel and a Plaice, and Woody had channels as well. So, you know, it was a variety night, but there was nothing really special in what we caught. Little channels like this. I think the last one I had was about half again as big as that, but so there you go. Packing up now, and time to go home. Time to go home to bed. Yeah, that was a good night. Lovely weather. Got some beautiful drone shots of the sunset. And I'll leave it together and we'll have a look. Right, well, good afternoon and welcome to Sea Fishing with CJ. Second evening this weekend. We're going to have a session this time on Langney Point. So we're up here fishing with an awful lot of other people who are fishing, listening to the catch reports. I've been speaking to people. It's kind of a mixed bag. A few fish been had here during the afternoon, a few Plaice been had. Hoping, well, I'm not going to declare my target species again, because if I don't get any, it will be because I've declared it. But if I get one, I'll go, yeah, that's the one. That's what we've been fishing for. So here we are. So looking around us, perfect evening. Wind's dropping away, sun's coming out. Plenty of people fishing. I've got two rods out. Left hand rod is the lighter rod. It's got Plaice on it, Plaice bait on it, which I'll switch over to sole later on when it gets dark. And the right hand rod is it's got a whole hermit crab on it, which is frozen, tied onto the hooks and then refrozen, so that it's pretty solid when it casts out. And we are being joined by celebrities. Is Mr. Kirridge walking down the beach, coming out to check his back garden, see who's fishing there, see who's catching. Yeah, so fingers crossed. I'll put this together with the first video I shot on the beach, the night session on the beach at Seaford, and make it into a little bit more interesting session. So here we go. Hello Tony. Hello mate.
You good?
Yeah. Good.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so, well.
Anything?
Well, I've only literally only got here. Might have a little knock on that left end actually.
Plaice.
Yeah.
I nearly come over, but I let it go.
Yeah.
I was like, going to go tomorrow night. It's calm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I might come during the week as well, but kind of this evening looked like it was fishable, so.
We'll be Thursday or Tuesday night.
Yeah, you reckon? Yeah, yeah, good.
It goes 27 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. It is forecast to get hot, isn't it?
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Thursday at wraps.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I've got to go.
It'll be sort of like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going Thursday night.
Okay. Well, I'll aim for that.
You'll be around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't go left against the grab.
No.
Sort of like now, till night,
Yeah.
perfect about 10 at night. Alright.
Yeah. Okay, Tone. Cheers, mate. Right. Well. Here we go. All right. yeah, there we go. Well, first cast, first fish, little Plaice. Unfortunately not big enough from a catch and cook project, but unless he's gorged the hook and I've got to kill him to get the hook out, in which case I'll eat him later on. But yeah, nice little Plaice, nice start to the night. Another beauty. And one cheeky little spider crab. Look at that, that's soft as bait. Getting quite peckish. Unfortunately the little Plaice I had just now didn't survive the unhooking, so we've gutted it and we're going to fry it in breadcrumbs for our tea. So that's what we're going to do now. So the first thing we need to do is get the fire on. So we've got fire lighter here, favourite little fire lighters, a bit of space for it. We'll drop that down inside the middle there. Sorry Brody Moss, but we've got fire, baby. Got that inside. Get that wood burning. Won't take long. Nice little breeze blowing. Get the fish in. The flour. Very nicely coated in flour. Nicely coated in flour. Really, it's nice and seasoned flour. Put pepper and salt in it. You can smell the pepper. There's the egg gone in. Pop the yolk. That's coating the fish. Yellow yolks, yellow yolks, almost orange. Amber yolks. Nicely coated. And then we're going to add the breadcrumbs. That fish is nicely coated with flour and eggs now. Let's get some breadcrumbs in there. Breadcrumbs on there. Fish completely covered in breadcrumbs. Nice and hot. You've got a mixture of butter and olive oil in here. Fire up a little bit more. Just toast the bottom of the pan. Plenty of oil juice in there. That's what we like to see. Sizzling away nicely. Ready for my fish. Now while we're waiting for that packing, let's get a pot of water. Legs. Haven't got the dog to do the washing up today, unfortunately. Ready to go on, ready for the fish, ready to receive the fish. Here we go. Look at that. Stays a big tail. Not going to get cooked otherwise. It fits in the pan perfectly. Seagull food. And it's smelling good. Oh, look at that. Shouldn't need long to cook. It's only clean fish, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. There's no secret about the sauce I like. Bit of Tabasco in there. Don't want to overpower it, but just to give it a little bit of life. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that bit of Tabasco. In the breadcrumbs. Polish up my dinner with a fine cup of wine. What's everybody going to be a cup of wine with a cup of tea? And the beauty of this is that the breadcrumbs and the egg kind of stick to the skin, and then you get nice crispy skin to eat. Pardon my table manners, but I'm not at the table, I'm on the beach. Actually, I'm not eating it all. Look at that. Well, that was excellent. Now, the pièce de résistance, a nice cup of tea. And again, there's nothing like a cup of tea that's brewed on the beach on a wood fire. The steam coming off that. You don't get steam like that in the kitchen. Right, well, we just had a nice little knock on the sole rig, which spouting. A washing line, not quite a full out. Kettle back on. Fish around with this. That right hand rod is going like the flappers, and my left hand rod is gone slack.